Okay, good afternoon. My name is Sean Pender, and I have the honor of being the national president of the Ancient Order of Hibernians, the country's largest and oldest Irish Catholic organization.
And I'm John Fitzgerald. I'm the founder of the Irish American Baseball Society.
And today we're proud to announce the partnership of our two organizations for the 2025 baseball season. The Ancient Order of Hibernians and the Irish American Baseball Society are pleased to announce a strategic partnership aimed at fostering mutual benefits for both organizations. Key highlights of this collaboration include AOH branding on apparel. The AOH logo will be prominently displayed on the jersey of the Irish Wolfhounds and will also be available in a limited edition patch on caps sold through the online platforms. We will have collaborative game coordination between the Irish American Baseball Society, who will work in conjunction with our local AOH divisions to facilitate game logistics and opportunities for involvement. We eagerly await the release of the schedule. And we're also excited about the Youth Irish Baseball Heritage Award, and those awards will prominently feature the AOH logo, recognizing AOH sponsorship and support.
And so for those of you who aren't familiar with the Irish Wolfhounds are a baseball team of primarily Irish citizens and players that are eligible to be Irish citizens. And so those players are they're available to be participants at any AOH events, given travel and logistics, but we've got players from all across the country. These are either Irish citizens or eligible to be Irish citizens, and they're very excited about the possibility of being involved at whatever level each AOH division, would want them or need them or could use them. We're going to have regular coordination of meetings. We're going to have scheduled meetings to be held to discuss upcoming events and initiatives with promotion through social media channels. And we're going to have mutual social media support. So the idea there is that our members need to see AOH, content to find out more about it, and vice versa. And we're gonna do that through social media. And there's also going to be educational support for cultural initiatives. And so with that, the AOH will assist us in identifying educators for cultural initiatives. We in the past have had Irish language classes and lecturers and authors speak to our members, and we'll work together on that.
We're excited to, thanks to our relationship, to offer our members some benefits, and thanks to this partnership, our members can join the Irish American Baseball Society for free and take advantage of these benefits. They'll be able to nominate one person annually for the Irish American Baseball Hall of Fame. They'll be able to create a member profile on the Irish Baseball member website, and they'll get a nice discount and free shipping off all regular priced items in the Irish Baseball online store. And I've already ordered a couple of jerseys and caps. So they're really sharp looking. And as you can see there, the AOH logo will be prominently displayed.
Yeah, and people can add the AOH patch to any cap or jersey that's available in our store. And AOH members are invited and encouraged to participate in members-only events. These are both virtual and in person, and we're working on those as we speak, getting them on the schedule. And we also give our members early access and a membership discount or a member discount to any event that's going to have limited availability. So our events can range, from open to the public to members only. But whatever the case is, the members get first dibs and special access when that's available. AOH members are encouraged to claim their free membership by visiting this link, which is bit.ly.AOH baseball, and we'll also have that on our website as well.
As our first joint effort, we wanted to provide for our organizations and the larger Irish American community some important information on obtaining Irish citizenship. As John has mentioned, all the members of the Irish American Baseball Society who are players have Irish citizenship. So we're going to turn this over now to Dan Dennehy, the AOH National Immigration Chairman, who is at the Ireland House at the Consul General of Ireland in New York, and is joined by our good friends, Andrew Byrne, the Deputy Consul General, and Mina Cottrell, Citizen Services and Passport Office. We thank Andrew and Mina providing this important information. Dan?
Well, thank you, President Pender. Hello, everyone, brothers all, and friends. Today is the first in a series of discussions about Irish immigration related matters. And I'm delighted to have dear friends of mine, Mina and our Deputy Consul General, Andrew. I'm also particularly delighted, Andrew, because you've served this community so well. And this is one of your last responsibilities, to meet with the Ancient Order of Hibernians. So it's indeed a great honor. You're moving on to bigger and better things, I imagine. Luckily, we can still depend on Mina to be around, and a new addition, Ryan. Welcome, Ryan. Thank you. So, folks, I thought it was appropriate that we start off with something that most Hibernians would be interested in, and most Irish Americans are starting to explore: how one could obtain Irish citizenship. So at this point, I think that I would ask Andrew to give us a little insight on that subject.
Thank you, Dan. And can I just start by saying thanks to the AOH and the Irish American Baseball Society, to Sean and John for the opportunity to take part in this webinar. We here in the Irish Consulate, we are a team based in New York, a part of a network of Irish missions across the US. And we really value our engagement both with the AOH and with the Irish American Baseball Society. So in that vein, very happy to have a discussion and outline a little bit the procedures around Irish citizenship as it may pertain to viewers. So if it's okay with you, Sean, and John and Dan, we'll go straight into a short presentation just outlining some of the points, and then we'll have an opportunity for questions and answers afterwards. So I'll get this presentation up on screen right now. A first place to start is the question of whether you're an Irish citizen, and that's the first step towards getting an Irish passport. And so I'll go through a few steps before we get to what might apply to many of your members. But the first one is, if you or your parent were born on the island of Ireland before 2005, you are an Irish citizen automatically. So you can apply for an Irish passport in that circumstance without making an application for citizenship, because it's automatic. There are different rules if you or your parent were born on the island after January 1st. That depends on the parent's citizenship at time of birth and the residence history of one of the parents before the birth. Now, there is another category, which we'll get to in a moment, but just to say that it's important to take a step back and consider what being an Irish citizen means. It means you're formally recognised as a national of Ireland and as a citizen of the European Union. And that brings with it certain rights. These include the right to carry an Irish passport, to live and work in Ireland and the European Union. And you may also request consular assistance from Irish embassies and consulates abroad, or from those of another EU member state in a country where there is no Irish representation. If you're also a US citizen, that carries with it different circumstances. And if you're traveling on your US passport, then you must seek consular assistance if needed from the US authorities. Some of the questions that might arise outside of those categories, the first one is, my grandparent was born on the island of Ireland. Can I become an Irish citizen in that case? And the answer is yes. You are then eligible to apply for what is also called Irish citizenship by descent. In these cases, you can become an Irish citizen through a process called foreign birth registration. And once you are entered onto the foreign births register, you are then an Irish citizen, and you are then entitled to apply for an Irish passport. In the case where your parent is an Irish citizen who was not born on the island of Ireland, and you yourself were not born on the island, are you a citizen? Yes, if your parent was an Irish citizen when you were born. You can then apply through the same process through the Foreign Births Register. If your parent only became an Irish citizen after you were born, this is not the case. And there are other ways to which to become a citizen, but these are the most relevant, I think, for our viewers today. And this department, the Department of Foreign Affairs, we only process applications for citizenship through foreign births registration. So, if you were born outside of Ireland, you can become an Irish citizen if one of your grandparents was born in Ireland or one of your parents was an Irish citizen at the time of your birth. And that's the FBR process, which we're about to explain now. In a nutshell, what you need to do is you need to prove both your identity and your lineage through foreign birth registration if you're applying, say, for instance, we'll take the case through an Irish-born grandparent. In that case, you'll need to embark on a process of gathering the relevant documentation relating to 3 generations. And I must be clear that this does take a little bit of time, so it requires a bit of patience and effort on your part before you formally lodge the application. I should note as well, we've seen a really big increase in applications for citizenship in this category in recent years. And it's in your own interest to avoid delays by ensuring that you have the original state-issued documentation that you require, because I should note that we've had a big increase also in incomplete applications lately, and that will delay the process for you. Now, you may worry that it will be impossible to gain some of the original documentation relating to your parent or grandparent, but the good news is that in the case of Irish birth certificates, for instance, or death certificates, that you can order originals from certificates.ie. So if you don't have the actual initial document, you can still order an original version of it online, and that's quite a straightforward process. Documentation that you'll need to gather to prove your lineage. Well, first of all, for your own identity, you'll need to prove that. You need your long form civil birth certificate, your long form civil marriage certificate if relevant. You'll need a witness notarized photocopy of your state ID. You'll need proof of name, that could be a credit card statement, a utility bill, and you'll need 2 proofs of your address. Again, that could be a bill or a credit card statement. You'll then need to gather for your parent and grandparent in this case, many of those documents, not the proof of address. If the grandparent, for instance, is deceased, you won't need to have a photocopy of their current ID, but you will need to have, as I said, their original long form death certificate in that case. So that's the process to go through to get the documentation. Here's a summary of the statement. I should say as well, you can find all of these details around what's required online at the website, which is at ireland.ie. And I'll come back to that website. We'll show the address at the end of this presentation so you can take it down. But these are the documents related to your own identity that you'll need. That also includes passport size photographs, and these will need to be witnessed. For your parent, these are the documents, as I mentioned, that you require. If you don't have the originals to hand, you can order replacements at certificates.ie, and these are those for the grandparent born in Ireland. As I mentioned earlier, if the grandparent is deceased, you won't need the photocopy of the current ID. I mentioned that the form and the photographs and the state ID copy need to be witnessed by an approved person. There are 20 categories of people approximately who can approve, and these are all listed on the website. But typically in the US, you will be using a notary public who can do that for you. And they'll need to witness, sign, and stamp these documents. If they don't have a stamp, they can send their business card in the application you can send their business card in the application with the documents. The fees involved are listed here. They're slightly lower if you're under 18 years of age. And you can see the various costs there. I should note as well, in terms of the online website, that it's here, ireland.ie/en/DFA/passports, and you're looking for foreign births registration. I should give a clear view that, as I said, it takes some time to gather all these documentation. And once we receive them and you lodge your application online and submit the documents, you should receive an email confirmation that your documents have been received. The turnaround time for this process is about 9 to 12 months. It's increased in response to the increased numbers of applications. So we do bear with, we count on your patience as we process them. Just to note as well that all of these applications are processed centrally in Dublin, and our embassies and consulates don't process these directly. But of course, we are happy to answer any queries that you may have, and I'm happy to give the email contacts at the end of this. But just for your information, it's newyorkcongen@dfa.ie. That's newyorkcongen@dfa.ie if you have any queries about the process. So that completes the presentation. I hope I covered some of the details. I'm happy to discuss further with Dan and with the other participants. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Andrew. So the benefits of having Irish citizenship, one of them is ultimately that you could lead to having this handy dandy passport in your wallet. This is like your New York State driver's license. It's also accompanied by a regular passport, that lovely burgundy colored passport that you get. But what other benefits are there? For example, let's talk about how long can you stay in Ireland if you're not a citizen, and how long can you stay if you are a citizen?
Yeah. Well, you've just shown a very helpful prop there, which is the passport card. It's a useful photographic ID. I should note that that passport card, and Mina will correct me if I'm wrong, is acceptable as ID to enter and travel within the European Union and the European Economic Area, but you can't use it to enter the US or to travel internationally. I should also mention, and this may apply to many of your viewers, that if you are a dual citizen of both the US and Ireland after this process, according to United States law, you're required to enter and leave the US on your United States passport. So that is an important thing to bear in mind. You can bring both passports with you as you travel, but for the purposes of immigration, you should always enter and leave on your US passport.
And you should also make sure that both documents are very valid and up to date, because we've had people that have experienced issues with traveling into Ireland on a near to expiration US passport and had a problem with airlines coming back. So always make sure you check your documents before you book a flight. Now, what I went back over one more thing there. Like, how long can you stay in Ireland if you're?
Well, if you're a citizen, you can stay in Ireland indefinitely. There's no issue there. So that's a clear advantage, and you won't require a visa to work. Whereas to live and work in the US without citizenship requires you to apply for a visa that's limited. And you can visit, obviously, without citizenship or a visa for, I think it's 3 months. 3 months.
3 months,
Yeah.
90 days.
But the benefits extend to that you have that right indefinitely, and it extends to, because Ireland is a member of the European Union, you also have that right de facto to live and work in 27 EU member states. So that's quite an attractive option for a lot of people.
Indeed. And this can be passed down, if it's done correctly, it can be passed down to another generation, provided all the different mechanisms you described.
Yeah, I mean, the key there, Dan, is that if you're trying to if you obtain citizenship through foreign birth registration or citizenship by descent, and you want to pass that on to your children, you need to complete this process before they're born. That's essentially it, because if you become a citizen after they're born, it doesn't pass on automatically.
Okay. Well, that's very good to know. Now, obviously, gathering documents is a little bit easier than it used to be. The older you are, this process might be a little more difficult because some documents were destroyed in the forecourts. There's a couple of rare occasions where you can't find stuff. I was one of those people. It was very difficult to find my grandparents, but it's become easier, and also through electronic means, a lot of these documents can be transferred a little bit faster. So what is if you had all your ducks in a row, how long do you expect, best case, worst case for a process?
If you've gathered all your documents and you're ready to submit online, I think you can plan for a 9 to 12 month wait time for the process. And I think it's important to be upfront and honest with people about that, so they're prepared. It's not a quick fix, but the process, I mean, I guess that reflects the fact that citizenship brings a lot of rights and entitlements, and we need to verify your identity and your lineage. But assuming you have all that together, it's a 9 to 12 month wait.
Okay, and after you get your citizenship, again, you can ultimately apply for your passport, and your passport, of course, is another helpful piece of identification. As you move forward, maybe if you move to Ireland, those two documents become very handy. Now, obviously, the consulate across the United States and the embassy is here to support people that are seeking citizenship and passport applications, etc. But people sometimes want to get some other kind of support, and there are other support mechanisms. Who would you recommend as a good support system? Do you have to hire a lawyer, or can you go to, say, an Irish immigration center?
This isn't the case of applying for citizenship.
Yeah, gathering all your information.
I mean, our advice is that the requirements for citizenship are quite clear. They're online. We're at people's disposal. If they have any questions, we're very happy to take them and assist them through the process. So, there are private sector operators out there who are charging for this, and that's a perfectly legal practice, but it's not something that we endorse. We don't endorse any particular private sector third-party actor. We have great relationships with the many Irish immigration centres in the US through our Immigrant Support Programme, which provides funding for their activities, and they can also provide great advice, not just in terms of citizenship, but also for Irish citizens who may need consular assistance or advice on their immigration status here in the US. So I think those are good ports of call.
Well, that's great to know. And it's great to know that they're out there and they're supported by the Irish state. Look, the Irish Department of Foreign Affairs is the envy of many other countries. The support that they give to the diaspora, the support that they give to the people from Ireland is incredible, and it's regardless of age. It's just a wonderful network, and these centers are really there to help people. We all know that very well. Finally, I guess the only other question is, so I'm an Irish citizen. I've done it through this process. Am I entitled to the same rights as somebody that was born in Ireland that didn't have to go through this process? Is there anything that's exclusionary as somebody that enters in this way?
No, as an Irish citizen, you're a citizen of, we're a republic, so all citizens are cherished and treated equally. So the entitlements you have are absolutely the same. Now, if you're looking at, say, moving or immigrating to Ireland as a newly mentioned Irish citizen, as with any case, if you move countries, there's always going to be bureaucratic processes that you'll have to go through. If, for instance, you want to get a social security number or so on, and there'll be additional institutional steps. But your entitlements as an Irish citizen are absolutely the same as someone born in the country.
Well, that's comforting to know. There's no second-class citizens in Ireland. Gentlemen and lady, I really appreciate this as a first stepping stone for the National Immigration Chair to begin these conversations on the many, many aspects of Irish immigration. As the oldest and largest national organization representing the people here, Americans and Irish people, it's comforting to know this relationship exists, that we can continue to have these kind of conversations. And again, Andrew, as you close your time here in New York, I have to commend you as being an excellent representative, as many that have come before you, and we look forward to seeing who comes after you. So thank you very much, and thank you, Mina, and thank you, Ryan.
Welcome.
Thank you, Tom. Very welcome. And
Glad to
yeah,
have-
thanks to Sean and John too. A pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Again, I just want to echo what Dan said, and thank you very much for this. And Andrew, wish you nothing but the best for your future endeavors and for your support that you've given our community here. And just also to say the work of the DFA is really amazing. And I think Dan hit the nail on the head and said it is the envy of a lot of other countries. And we thank you for that. I know the Irish American Baseball Society and the AOH look forward. I think it's very timely. Right now, we're going into the countdown for pitchers and catchers, and we hope to formally announce and release this right around the beginning of spring training this year. So, John, I'll turn it over to you for any closing words.
Just to say thank you to everybody. Andrew, that was, as somebody that's helped a number of people through the process, that was by far the best description I've ever heard of the process from top to bottom. I can't imagine there are too many questions after you've covered everything. So that was excellent. Thank you very much. And thanks, Dan. Thank you to everybody.
Now, if we can just use this process and find a good left-handed reliever and a power hitter for American Irish Baseball Society, it's a win-win for everyone. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it.